good and fine people of the internet. Mark with Cardivox Academy here, and I'm very excited because today we are talking about one of my favorite bands. Legitimately, one of my favorite bands. This band is called Wilderun. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong because I do that sometimes, but I think that's right, Wilderun, right? I absolutely love Wilderun. Veil of Imagination was my favorite album last year. It came out in 2019, but I didn't listen to it until 2020. That was a crazy experience for me because I am a very distractible, very easily stimulated person. And Wilderun was one of the first bands in a long time that allowed me to sit still for the length of the album. So 45 minutes to an hour. I love this band. Their singer, Evan Anderson Barry, is one of my favorite singers. I think his voice is impeccable. And if you have not heard Wilderun, I am excited for you to hear them now. Because really, this band has it all. Now, of course, I love a lot of different types of metal and things like that. But if I had, at least at this point in my life, to listen to only one kind of metal, it would probably be stuff like this or certain black metal. That's a hard choice to make. Anyways, if you're new to the channel, again, my name is Mark. I am a vocalist in 3 metal bands, Kardashev, Neverbreath, and Viremia. I'm also a vocal coach specializing in harsh vocals, so grunts, growls, gurgles, gutturals, high piercing screams, all that good stuff. That's what I do, and I teach for a living. Now, what we do here is we take the reaction format, we break it down, we have fun, we pause, we talk about what's going on vocally. We either tell you how to do it or take our best guess in how they're doing it, because, hey, we know a lot, but we don't know everything. And if you really like the content, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. It means a lot to me to watch the channel grow and to hear all your kind words. And then, of course, if you really love the content and you want to support the channel, check us out on Patreon. We've got an awesome Discord with multiple monthly events. You have the opportunity to win lessons with me and vocal evaluations with me if that's something you're interested in. But really, at the end of the day, your time and hanging out with us while we talk vocals. I say us. I'm thinking about my business partner Alex. He helps me a lot with this. I know it's just me, but when I say us, I mean the greater community. That really, at the end of the day, is what I appreciate most. So, let's check out Wilderun. I am so excited to listen to this song because Wilderun is the choice. So, anyways. Here we go. We're doing the radio edit because apparently the full version is 10 minutes long, and I'm trying to film 5 videos today, so we'll see. But anyways, Wilderun, Passenger, let's go. Don't get mad, but I'm going to pause it right there just because this is one of my favorite singers and I want to point out to you why. So that as we listen to the song, you can listen for these things. So he's doing a couple things here that I really, really love. One is that he hangs on to the occasional consonant, right? So I don't remember the notes, so I'm not going to try to sing it. Maybe later when I remember the melody. But instead of saying flow, he says flow, flow, flow. And it adds another syllable to the word in a way that's not intrusive. Sometimes when we pronounce words differently to add syllables, it can be very, very strong and abrupt. And sometimes that can be a little bit distracting. But with him, it sounds like, smooth and engaging and, in a way, kind of like sensual, right? Not, that's what it sounds like. It's very engaging. It really draws you in. Also, a lot of singers do this. I love the way he does it. I love how he varies the airflow in his voice. And when he brings more of that full voice tone in, he shifts into this very open and relaxed frontal tone. His tone, I love. So he's got, this sort of thing right here, and then he sort of leans into it. Oh yeah, right, right. Let's listen to a little bit more. Maybe I can give you a better example once I've got the melody in my head. But just listen to how in this small section, there's so much going on with his voice and his approach. It's phenomenal. Flow. And listen to that, that subtle vibrato. She, what's the starting note here? Let's see. She is a mountain. She is a mountain. La da da da. Like that soft, subtle la da da da. Oh, I love that.
Probably had that since she was born. How much we have lived from love for long. All of us together, all is a jar. It's not saving. Such mountain lady, the bleeds and turn from you in the fall.
Yo, like that right there is why I love this band so much. Like, of course, I'm mainly listening to vocals because that's what I do. That's my thing, right? But the way that there's this powerful, driving yet elegant feel and taste and texture to this whole song is phenomenal. Now let's talk technique here, right? So one thing that we have is this is actually a very kind of, I don't want to say standard as in you think I'm saying boring. It's not. When I say standard, I mean foundational. That's what I should say. It's a very foundational false chord sound. We're down here, we're doing our we're adding a little bit of compression, and we're closing it up. That is if you are somebody who wants to start singing and being someone who both sings clean with your true chord phonation, hey, and also with your false chord phonation, right? This is a great scream to use because it's when done properly, it's very low effort and your vocal folds are not touching. So switching gears is just going to be a matter of coordination. Moving back and forth from your to your once you learn to just trade off the work, false chord, vocal fold, false chord, vocal fold, and not putting your distortion on your vocal folds, it can actually be quite simple to move back and forth through these, to shift gears, so to speak, right? And he's doing it masterfully well. Now, we'll keep going here because I'm sure this is going to happen again, but just listen to the way that he balances what he's doing to work with the composition of the song. I'll go back a little bit so you can hear that. I don't know exactly where it started. Look at this guy. Like, I just love the vibe of all these band members. What a bunch of, I'm saying what a bunch of cool dudes. I don't even know them, but they seem like a bunch of cool dudes. Here we go.
Since she was born, how much we have reaped from a love for a long.
Here comes.
All of us tinker, all stripped off as a jar. It's not saving. Such spontaneity. The blades and turn from you in the fall. And they are dreaming. Lost for eternity. Gifted disease. Where meaning persists. Certain and wonderful. And on this journey is all that you need. Because it is. Life is so colorful.
What a great way to transition a section. That beautiful chorus. Now, in the video, it makes it look like all the band members are singing. I wonder if that's the case, or if it's really all just the singer layering those out. And then, I don't know. To be honest, I have no idea. But I loved, oh my goodness, I loved the production of that. I am a sucker for like verbed out, washed out vocals. Maybe even a little too much, but I love that vibe, that wall of sound that chorus, that choir sound was creating. Absolutely stunning, super wonderful, and a great way to transition out of a very harsh section, right? Let's just kind of pick it up from here. We're about halfway through, so I'm sure that something like that's going to happen again, but I'll go back a little bit. But phenomenal. Yes. All right, I'm trying to find a place to pause to talk about tone, and it's really hard with these folks because literally their songs are such movements, such epics, right? That it's hard to find a place to like non-intrusively pause. So I'm just gonna have to go for it. So I want to talk about tone a little bit, right? So as I said earlier, I love Evan's tone, and it's important to classify that because sometimes people, I'll get this question like, what is tone? Like, what does it mean? Well, essentially, when we are listening to a singer's tone, right? When we're saying they have a solid tone, what we mean is that they don't sound dead and dull and sort of muted, right? Like there's a difference between singing what's a good song? Like I'll sing this super monotone. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. My pitch is kind of all over the place and my voice is closed and boring, right? A lot of times people will sing by just sort of talking. Now, funnily enough, that's not a bad place to start, right? If I kind of start working with a scale, right? If I start working with a scale, kind of whatever, la, and I think about talking on pitch, you don't want to stay there, but that can be a good way for you to investigate your own voice and see what your own voice wants to do. one of the things I really enjoy and one of the things I encourage people to do is to follow your voice, right? And when I say that, I mean, learn what your voice feels like. Learn what your voice sounds like. Do you naturally have a brighter tone or a warmer tone? And then do things to accentuate that. So if I'm here, la, 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 la. I'm just speaking on tone. La, 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 la. Now, my natural, I'm not worrying too much about sounding good yet, right? I'm just getting a feeling for what voice sounds like in my head. Now, when I do that, right, my voice kind of naturally just buzzes here, right? My whole approach to singing and screaming is the Bane mask. If it's here, I want it to vibrate, right? So if I take this, la, 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 I'm going to open my mouth. I'm going to lift the back of my tongue a little bit just to encourage a little bit more. My voice is telling me I like to be here, so I'm going to let it be here. I'm not going to fight it. I'm going to nurture it, right? La, 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 la. Then we start to get a little bit of a tone developing, and it's starting to sound more like singing. This is a long time thing. Singing is a long time investment, as is screaming. But if you follow the tone that you naturally have, maybe your voice has a little bit of natural rasp to it. Some people do. Follow that. Let it be. So Evan's tone is it's this wonderful balance of brightness and forward singing with warmth underneath it. And it creates this sort of almost bardic tone, right? Like I feel like I could hear him singing epics of how like knights slay dragons, but in a way that is soft, yet confident at the same time, right? And I absolutely love that. One last thing that you can do to start like moving forward to getting a little power in your voice is to really just kind of hum with a little bit of force. Now, when I say force, I mean from your abdominal muscles, never from your throat. Never do any of your singing or screaming using your throat as your main mechanism. That's where your phonation is created, but beyond that, your neck is a neutral tube for sound and air to move through. That's it, right? So if I sort of start to hum on tone, right, or like, hum with my jaw dropped a little bit, I can start to hear and I can start to feel what it sounds like for my voice to get a little bit more weight, to get a little bit more full-bodied. Hey, oh, yeah, whoa, right? Hey. And, we're still just playing around, but that's a lot of what learning about your voice is. Like, there's this part of learning how to sing that is doing exercises and staying very academic and staying very on task. And there's another side of it, which is just playing around with your voice and learning what your voice sounds like. Anyway, that's enough of that. I'm going to go back a little bit so you can hear more of his tone and just his singing voice. Then we're going to keep going. Oh, that's cool.
Keeping your vision just slightly off track. Oh,
So I know we're coming up at the end, but he actually did something that's really cool, and you can actually incorporate into to a nice exercise. So one of the things you can do is you can do quick little staccato monotone notes, right? And this is a great way to do a lot of different things. It's a great way to feel, to play around with resonance placement. It's a great way to get a little bit more handle on vocal fold closure. Like if your voice is breathy and you don't necessarily want it to be, breathiness is okay as long as it's a tool that you're in control of, right? If your voice is always breathy and you can't eliminate that, doing little staccato notes can be easy. So if I'm like, hey, right here, and I don't know what the lyrics are, so I'm just going to say, I'm going to count. Hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It can kind of get you an idea of, again, balancing out effort from your abdominal cavity, not squeezing these notes out. A lot of times when people are first starting, they'll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And that's very throaty. Opening up, sort of this yawn, hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hey, that could be really beneficial. And he was doing that, and not only did it sound awesome with what the guitars were doing, I was like, oh yeah, you can actually do that to sort of get a little bit of a better handle on your voice. And then bringing in the full voice, ascending up, as the song was picking up as well. Amazing. We're gonna go a little bit back, and then we'll probably just finish the song out.
But is it the origin? Is it the start? Or just a parasite onto your heart?
Oh. 11 out of 10. Pure elegance. Oh, it cut so harshly there. No. Oh, well. What can you do? Yeah, I love Wilderun. I love that song. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I hope you love that band as much as I do. Obviously, just different strokes for different folks. But the last thing I want to leave you with is, I've talked a lot about being breathy. What if you're wanting to be, have a little bit more of that full voice? What if you're wanting to kind of gain control over the space, like, your chest voice in that space, more of that modal sound, right? Now, there is a lot. I feel like sometimes people, they skip the chest voice. There's this really funny meme I saw online where it's like this person like walking up the stairs, and they've got really long legs, and they're skipping like 9 steps, right? And those 9 steps, somebody put text on them, and it's like, understanding breath support, mastering your chest voice, handling low notes, understanding resonance. And then the one that the person is stepping towards is high notes, right? And I feel like we all kind of do that. And I felt that myself, like when I first started screaming, because screaming is predominantly what I do. I just wanted to have the lowest lows and the highest highs. And because of that, now this is years ago, I had trouble mastering like my mid-range, right? Whereas if I had started with my mid-range, I probably would have gotten a fully fleshed out voice sooner, right? So if you're wanting to kind of get this fundamental sound down, one thing you can focus on, and this is a really great way to balance this trifecta, breath support, resonance, and phonation. Just imagine calling out to somebody. This is an old school thing. People have been using this exercise for a long time, right? Just stand straight, take a nice healthy breath in. Hey, 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 hey. Now notice I'm not trying to go higher. This is where my voice naturally sits. Hey, 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 whoa, right? And then you can start moving around in notes. I'm just kind of riffing. I'm just kind of having some fun. But you can start using this low, whoa, to start building a full voice sound. That being said, I mean, there's a lot more that we could talk about, but if you want to kind of get control here, hey, hey, hey. I'm thinking about my voice buzzing in the front of my face. I'm thinking about my neck staying relaxed. I'm thinking about holding my ribs out, feeling my abdominal muscles pulse, right? So instead of pushing sound out, sound is lifting up and out of my body. Hey, hey, oh! And you can hang around with that for a long time. Sorry, I'm just nerding out and having fun. I should probably focus and wrap up this video. Anyways, Wilderun, Passenger, amazing song. If you liked it, let us know in the comments below. If you learned something and you had fun, let us know in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe. Check us out on Patreon if you want to. But as always, many thanks, much love. I'm out.